I am Vicky Krieps and I play Simone Strasser. When we started shooting, no one knew who she is, honestly. Even Andreas didn't know. Everyone was like, but who is she? And I think she's difficult to describe because in a way she's maybe everyone, in the sense that she's the human in the story. So she's the human heart. And being the human heart, she's everything from the very worst of the human heart to the very best, and from love to hate, and she just gets everything right in her heart. Like everything comes to her and just goes right into her. There's no filter, she's not controlling her emotions or controlling them by thoughts, she's not manipulating, she's not. And then these things happen to her, and life is happening to her, and the war, and the people, and the lies. And she gets stuck inside this spider web of lies and of power games. And she's kind of forced to play the game. But in a way, she manages to play the game by keeping her own truth and protecting her heart and what she believes. So I think she's not to be described by characteristics. So I think I would say she's human. She's torn between two countries and between two languages and between two cultures. And I think it's representing the difference between countries and the difference between cultures, and also how it's not different. Her brother is everything to her. I think it's also for me one of the reasons why I said yes to the project, because I found it so interesting to tell a story between brother and sister, which is not, you mostly have man and a woman and or whatever, love stories, and I really found that very interesting to see a brother and a sister, and then the war, and then how each of them copes with what's happening to them. And I think the brother of Simone to her is everything. So when he dies and she thinks he's dead, the world ends. And then when she finds out he's not dead, it's there again. And I think it's really everything, emotionally, everything evolves around her brother. He was the only person she ever really loved. In the beginning, Simone is like the typical German 27-year-old girl in the middle of the war, and completely blinded by the Nazis and the whole side of the war where everything was changing, and everyone was telling you the world is going to be a new world, and we have this thing, and look, and we're going to make everything better. It's called Nationalsozialismus, so it's like national and socialism. So yes, it's something to do with socialism, and it's national, and it gives me a sense of identity. And then they were so nature-driven also, and in that time the Nationalsozialists, they were really like, they had all these vacation programs, and then you go outside and you do sports, and I immediately saw my grandmother, who was exactly this age in the war, and I have pictures of her standing there, really proud in her tunic. I don't know how you call it in English. It's like to do gymnastics. It has the little Hakenkreuz from the Nazis, and she's very proud, and you can see her how happy she is and how healthy she is, and everything was about, I think, being this new race of people who are human and who are good people, and which is completely insane and very, very sick, because in the end it didn't have to do anything with being healthy or sane, or it's rather the opposite. But that's what they were really selling to young people, and they really bought it. And I think Simone, when she comes into the movie, is really very much like this, really this German girl who's hoping for the best, completely optimistic. I don't know if it's naive. I think it's just so optimistic and driven by hope in life in general that it makes you naive in a certain way. But as soon as she gets mingled into the whole other side of the war, she's asked to take sides and whose side she's on, and I think that's what's interesting. I know what's linking both of them, and for me it's the brother and the sister. For me it's, you start with a brother and a sister, and they are the family, and what happens to families in wars, and then of course they get torn apart, and one is on the land and one is at sea.